Okay, Rabotai, we are on live. Today we're going to speak about a very important halakha, and then we're going to, B'ezrat Hashem, get into the Musar class. If a person ate meat, how many hours do you have to wait before you are allowed to eat something dairy? Milk, cheese.
6 hours, huh?
6 hours. Anyone else has an opinion?
Actually, I hear mixed. I heard also 6 hours, and I heard like 3-4 hours. So what's the real truth behind that?
Leo, you're with us, Leo?
You're on mute. Yeah.
What's the question, Rabbi? My phone got cut off.
The question is, if a person had meat,
you're on mute.
If a person had meat, how many hours does one have to wait before he's allowed to eat something dairy?
Depends who you ask.
What does that mean, Mike?
From what I hear, different people have different beliefs.
Hey, Rabbi, it's Leo Jacobs. Rabbi, I heard that there was a consensus early on that you're allowed to eat chicken with milk, but you're not allowed to eat meat with milk. And when I say milk, I mean the derivative of, right? Cheese, whatever contains butter. So I would love to hear more about that, but apparently you can eat cheese with chicken, but something occurred where you're not allowed to do that anymore.
Correct.
So that's what I've heard.
Correct. So the Gemara Masech Shabbat does bring down, in the town of Rabbi Yossi HaGalili, they used to eat chicken with milk, because nowhere does it say in the Torah you're not allowed to have chicken and milk. It says you're not allowed to have meat and milk. It doesn't say you're not allowed to have chicken and milk. Nevertheless, halachically today speaking, since people around us are not going to know, for example, if I start having a chicken sandwich and I'm having a cup of milk, correct? You don't know what I'm eating, correct? You might think it's regular meat. So
for the record, that's disgusting. I would never do that, but I'm just saying.
Right, so you're going to think it's regular meat, and you're going to go now and you're going to have meat with milk, and that's a problem. So therefore the rabbis of blessed memory came and they said, we're not allowed to have chicken, we're not allowed to have meat, with dairy, nothing like that. That's it. And that is the halakha.
Question, is there a written opinion on this, or was it verbally stated?
It's, what do you mean written opinion? Like, is it in the Shulchan Aruch, or is it in the Torah?
I mean, what I'm saying is, sometimes like VHQ gives out like a statement, like this is appropriate. No.
I'll leave this alone now. What we're dealing over here with, is it in the Torah? You're not going to find it in the Torah. You're not going to find it. You're going to find it in the Gemara, and you're also going to find it in the Shulchan Aruch. The code of law. The bottom line is the law. What is the law? You're not allowed to have chicken with milk. That is the bottom line. It's nothing to do with the Rabbanim of foods or anything like that.
I'm sorry to cut you off. It's fascinating that it comes from the same animal.
No,
and the fact that they don't want you to mix dairy.
Right.
Chicken and a cow are not the same animal.
No, he means the milk. He says the
dairy.
milk, correct. That's the beauty. You can have milk from the meat and still you cannot eat it. Correct.
Wow.
Correct. Very good. So I'm going to put it to you like this, Rabotai. According to the letter of the law, Jigarik, if you had shish kebab, you ate sheep, beef, kid goat, even chicken, Jigarik, what we're going to tell you is you have to wait 6 hours before you are allowed to have anything dairy. That is according to us, the Shulchan Aruch, right? According to the Sephardim. According to the Ashkenazim, there are 3 opinions. So I don't know who's Ashkenaz over here. Richard, how are you, Richard? According to
I'm
the
25% Ashkenaz.
According to the Ashkenazim, in your day, Siman Peitet and Halacha Aleph, the first opinion, Jigari, you're not going to believe. If I have meat, and then my wife, let's say, cleans the table. Yes, Jigari, my wife is going to clean the table. Not I'm going to clean the table.
Yeah, we're not talking about him.
Right, and then I'm gonna
depends on what neighborhood you're in.
And then I'm gonna go ahead.
This is way too deep on a Monday for Spike and Doodle do what you guys are talking about.
Right, so once she cleans the table, and I'm gonna say Birkat Hamazon, the after blessing for the bread. If I wash my teeth, if I brush my mouth, wash my hands, According to the Ramah, you are allowed to go ahead and you're allowed to have milk right away. You're allowed to have a coffee, cheese, egg sandwich, whatever you want. That is the first opinion. The second opinion holds you have to wait 1 hour. Same concept. You have to bench. You have to wash your mouth, wash your hands, and then wait 1 hour. The third opinion says 6 hours. The Ramah concludes and he says, even for the Ashkenazim, it's correct for them to hold 6 hours like the Sephardim. There's a three-way debate amongst the rabbis. What's considered when you finish your meal? Is it after I say Birkat Hamazon? Is it do I wait 1 hour? Or is it do I wait 6 hours to allow the food to digest? So that's why we have three opinions in the Ramah. However, according to the Shulchan Aruch, it's one opinion, 6 hours. So therefore, if I had meat, I have to go ahead, even chicken, I have to wait 6 hours before I can have dairy. Very important to note. Now, let's go the other way around. What about when it comes to dairy products? I had a egg and cheese sandwich. I had a pizza sandwich. I had a coffee, anything dairy. Now I'm invited to somebody's house and they're making barbecue. How long do I have to wait after dairy products?
Wash up
3 hours.
10 minutes, huh?
10 minutes,
1
3 hours.
hour. You gotta wait 1 hour.
What happens if it's H? Don't you have to wait 6 hours? You just gotta rinse your mouth.
Aaron, so waiting 6 hours, we'll see, is not necessarily, Aaron. When it comes to dairy products, we're going to see right now, once you rinse your mouth, rinse your hands, and if you eat something like in between, then we're going to allow you to go ahead and consume the meat. You don't necessarily have to wait any amount of time. You're allowed to go ahead and you're allowed to eat the meat right away. It happens a lot of times. You have a coffee during the day, with milk. Now you are invited somewhere, and they make shish kebab, and you think you could have it. You had pizza, you could have it, but you have to meet certain criteria. You have to make sure you wash your teeth, meaning either wash your mouth, eat bread, or some other type of food, which are not vegetables, not dates, because those things, they will not get the job done. Wash your hands, and then you are allowed to go ahead and you're allowed to eat the meat.
Rabbi, sorry, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
What's the purpose of not mixing meat and dairy? You have to wait 6 hours. Why? Does it have to do with the digestive system?
Yes. We don't want the milk and the meat to get mixed up in your stomach. You can become chas v'shalom sick because of it also. We don't want you to consume them simultaneously.
But when you eat dairy, but then when you're eating dairy and then you eat right away, you're eating meat, it's the same thing. It's still going, it's sucking.
But dairy digests faster.
Right, I think by dairy, correct. I think by dairy, first of all, the dairy products that we have today is
below, not on top.
Right, I think it's already, I think it's even going to digest much faster than meat. Meat stays with the person longer than cheese.
You know, Rabbi, I was overseas in Azerbaijan, and their custom to start you with dairy first, a dairy product like yogurt, and then you have a piece of bread, and then you can have the meat.
Right. You see that? So basically, this is something that the Shulchan Aruch brings down. Why is this important, guys? You have to know we are approaching the holiday of Shavuot. Right? Everybody knows the holiday of Shavuot, where we're going to accept the Torah. You have to stay up all night, try to learn Torah. Now, on Shavuot, you want to eat...
What day is it this year, Rabbi?
I believe it comes out Thursday night. Next week, Thursday night. Thursday night, Friday night, and Shabbat. So, Thursday night, you want to have a meat meal. Yeah? You want to have meat and wine. However, Friday morning, you're going to want to have dairy. Okay? One of the reasons why we eat dairy on Shavuot is because once we received the Torah and we went back home, what were we able to eat? Only dairy products. Why? Because when it comes to meat, you have to slaughter, you have to salt, you have to wash. It takes time. After we received the Torah, we wanted to eat, so the first thing we ate was dairy products. Now,
no one had a stock, Rabbi?
No, what stock? Once you get the Torah, how did they know? Once you see the Torah, You're not allowed to do. You're not allowed to.
I know they didn't have no refrigerators, but they didn't have animals already on standby.
Now, of course, they had animals on standby. It just takes time to kill the animal, skin the animal, soak the animal, soak the animal. It takes a lot of. It's a lot of work. Now, why is this important to know? On Shavuot, if you want to have dairy products, have dairy products. Then you're going to wash your teeth, wash your hands, or eat some bread in between, and then you can have meat right after that. You can have a shashlik or shish kebab and things like that. So I want to read for you the halakha in the Shulchan Aruch, it's even Peitet and halakha bet. He says like this, Achal givina, if a person ate cheese, that's why Aaron, when we speak about aged cheese, he doesn't speak about it, he just says cheese. You know, I haven't come across where it says aged cheese. He says, Achal givina, if a person ate cheese, mutar lechol acharav basar miyad, you are allowed to eat after it meat immediately. Ubavad sheyayin yadav shelo yeshum davar mehagivina nidbak behem. The only thing we want you to do, we want you to look into your hand. See if you have no cheese on your hand, which is very important. Because if you're going to have cheese on your hand, it's going to go on the meat. You're eating meat and cheese. That we don't want. Now he says, V'imhu balayla. What happens if this is at night? Right? Today, Baruch Hashem, we have lights. But let's say you're in a place where there's no lights. You're not able to look into them very well. You need to wash them. And you also need to wash your mouth. Richard, you hear what the Shulchan Aruch is saying? This whole business of washing your mouth and your hands, that's specifically if you're not able to see if your hands are clean or not. But if I'm during the day or if I have light, I don't necessarily have to do the process of washing my hands and my mouth. I could go, Jigari, what am I going to do? Let's say I had pizza, correct? I'll take bread, I'll have bread in between. Or pasta or anything else. I'll eat it in between. That's going to do the cleaning of the teeth. And then I'll wipe my hands with a napkin. And I'll be able to eat meat right away. Say it again. I can't hear you, Elon.
You say eating pizza.
Elon, you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Salad. My bad. You hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
How is the piece pasta or bread eliminate whatever pizza is left in the guy's mouth before he goes into his steak?
Yeah, it's going to clean it out. It's going to go between your teeth. What we're not going to want you to eat is any vegetables or dates, because that's not going to be able to clean out it's not going to be able to clean out the cheese from your teeth. But bread and things like that is going to be able to do the job. Yes?
Yes, so Rabbi, you're saying that from the conversation before, you said eating chicken and cheese is breaking rabbinical law, but not Torah law.
100% correct. Yes, 100% correct. Just to make a very important point, let's say if I had cheese at Jigarik, if I had cheese right now, let's say I was eating egg and cheese, and now I want to go and I want to eat chicken. Do I still have to...
Hold on. Oh, if you don't mind, I think it's very important to clarify that rabbinical law is also doraita.
Correct.
Because in the Torah it says that you have to follow the rabbis.
Very good, Jigarik.
I don't play games,
Raphael, can you hear me?
No. I just want to make sure
Raphael flexing today.
Yeah, man. I was actually going to make a chicken and cheese sandwich today, man. Okay.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's very important, Raphael, that when we say rabbinical law, it has exactly the same importance, if not more, when it comes towards the Torah law. Because people think Torah is Torah. But when it comes to rabbinical law, it's only the rabbis. Rabbinical has more power because we want people to treat it with more respect. Okay, but I do want to bring out over here that if a person had cheese, Jigarik, and now you want to go and you want to eat chicken, you don't have to be afraid of all this. You don't have to wash your mouth. You don't have to clean your hands, nothing. Okay, this that we say you have to do it, that's only if you're eating sheep, cow, real meat, but not chicken. Okay, if you guys have any questions, I'll take it. If not, I'm going to begin today's Musar class.
Rabbi, and what if you were to eat cheese, then they bring out the chicken, you eat the chicken, and then they bring out the meat? What happens then?
No, so once you
All
do
within,
that,
15, 20 minutes.
Then once you do that, you're good. Because now the chicken did the job. The chicken cleaned out and everything's fine.
Rabbi, I got a text. Gentleman is asking, is it okay to have a chicken Philly cheesesteak?
It depends. It depends. Actually, it depends.
No. The cheese has to be parm. Yes.
No, it depends. Yaakov. It depends which level in Gehenna you want to be.
What does it depend on?
In which level in Gehenna does he want to be in? 7th level or 6th level?
That was a good one.
Wait, Rabbi, so basically you can eat dairy and then if you drink water and have bread after that, you could have immediately chicken?
Right, for chicken you don't have to worry about anything. If you're eating real meat, that's what you're going to do. You're going to have bread.
So you don't even have to wash, you don't even have to have the water. You could have your Caesar salad, and then the Caesar salad leaves the table, you can have your chicken.
Correct. Yes. Correct. According to the letter of the law, correct. If you want to be stringent, you want to just rinse your mouth, eat bread, wash your hands, that's already up to your own discretion. But otherwise, we're going to tell you that's perfectly fine.
But with meat, you have to finish the Caesar salad, have water, then have bread, and then you can eat meat?
Correct. Just make sure that your hands are clean. Correct. Yes, Mike.
Wow. Is it only necessarily bread, Rabbi? You can just have like a pasta, no?
Pasta, any food that's not vegetable and not dates.
Yeah, because bread kind of easy to make it a meal.
No, I'm just saying just to be able, or if you brush your teeth, you're good to go. What'd you say?
Are we washing hands with a vessel or washing hands?
No, even baby wipes will do the job. Just to make sure that you have nothing on your hands.
No residue.
Okay.
Rabbi, I got a question for you.
Yes, Jack.
Why is it that in some households there's two different sinks? There's a dairy sink and a meat sink.
Okay. So the halacha in your day brings down that all this that we have today, dairy sink and meat sink, is only a custom. According to the letter of the law, really I could have everything in the same sink. But what's the problem? We're going to get confused. We're not going to know what are meat dishes, what are dairy dishes. So the halacha says the custom is to have two separate sinks, not to get confused with the forks, the spoon, the knife, the plates, the cups, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, but Rabbi, what if sorry.
Now, let's say you do mix it up, right? Let's say you use the dairy fork on a meat fork. Then you have to do the whole kosher process to that fork or the plate?
No, the only time you have to kosher the plate or the spoon or the fork, that's only if you used it. Like for example, let's say my wife makes hot milk on the pot, on the stove, correct? On the stove top. She used a hot spoon of milk. Now she went and she used the same spoon in a meat pot on the stove pot also. That's going to be a big problem now. That's a problem. But what happens right now, let's say my children, they use a spoon to eat cereal. And then, I by accident use that same spoon to eat soup. Nothing happened. Why? Because no taste got absorbed in the metal. In order for taste to be absorbed in the utensil, it has to be very hot, like fire heat. Otherwise, there's no taste. Again, we don't allow you, but if it did happen, you don't have to worry about making it kosher unless it was really on the stovetop. For example, let's say
I feel like we have to bring awareness to this because, I was in somebody's house and by accident I used a fork that was dairy or something like that, and made a whole big deal. Oh, we have to make it kosher again or something. So now I feel comfortable calling them back and saying that, hey, it was washed.
Right. As long as it's not on hot food, as long for example,
I tell you, it's for a new Hermes dish.
I want to tell you, Yaakov. Sometimes people have they cut pizza. They have a knife for pizza, for example. Not those pizza, but they cut cheese, whatever. Something hot.
Yeah.
But now sometimes you make steak on the grill. Now that's going to be a problem because they're both hot. You understand? So when something is hot, the taste goes inside the metal. So when you're using, the only way it's going to come out is also again through the heat. So it's a very big problem. What I'm speaking about right now If you're using on warm food or even on cold food, it could never become dairy or meat. You could always keep it parv. Again, we're not going to do that. We want people to have separate dishes if they can, but otherwise, it's not a problem. Yes, you got it.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yes, I've seen this a lot of times. Yeah, go ahead, Rafael.
That's what I was gonna say. So if you have separate utensils for dairy and separate for meat that you're not gonna you'll know which one is which, you can have one sink, no problem.
I mean, can you have two sinks or you could only have one sink?
No, I can have two sinks, but I'm just trying.
It would not be a problem after the fact, but ideally we want you to have two separate sinks. Ideally.
Gotcha.
But that would not be a problem, correct? That would not be a problem. You have to remember when they're in the same dish, in the same sink, you're going to put soap on it, it's going to kill the taste. There's many leniencies that I could play with. For example, when I lived in an apartment, I didn't have this problem. Meaning I wouldn't care because where am I going to put everything? Yeah, my wife was very particular about every little thing. But again, it's really dairy products. If it's not used with something hot, they're really parv. They're not really dairy. It's just
another question, Rabbi. Because it's let's say in the same sink and you're using hot water and the wife is washing the dishes, they still use two separate sponges.
No, again, all this is very important to do because that's what the custom requires us to do. To make sure everything is separate. That's what we should do. You understand? But you shouldn't make a problem if you didn't do it.
You're building an awareness.
Correct. You're only building an awareness. Correct. Right. Today, Baruch Hashem, people have two sinks, right? 2 bathrooms, 2 sinks, 2 showers. Back then, what do you think? They had all these things? Okay.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay.
But, Rabotai, I want to make something clear. Ideally, we want you to have separate dishes, separate sinks. If it does happen, your cleaning lady put it inside there, the dairy dish into the sink. Meat, not a big deal. You have to fight with her. It's okay. Just take it out, put it back in its original place. That's it. Chacham Avadi goes so far to say that if you have a dishwasher, you got to listen to this. You have a dishwasher, you want to put dairy in meat dishes and dairy dishes. Since the soap is going to kill the taste, you're allowed to do it, he says, if you really need to do it. Right, there are leniencies for this.
Right, I was going to ask, do we need 2 dishwashers?
Right, but it's again, what we usually do is try to keep, the dishwasher is always for the meat. But say you want to use it for the meat and then the dairy, no problem. Not a big deal. Why? Because the soap, it's called loten tam lefgam. It's called that it gives a very bad taste to the dishes. So therefore it's going to kill the taste right away and it's not a problem.
Absorbs it.
Right, it absorbs very bad taste. Okay, Rabotai, let's start. Okay. Let's start this today. If I don't finish, we'll finish it B'ezrat Hashem tomorrow. I want to share with you in Parsha Bechukotai Jigarik. I'm going to read for you what the Parsha says. We need to understand that when a person does the will of Hashem, there's a reward that he gets. When a person goes against Hashem, there's a punishment that he's going to have to face. Now, a lot of people are not going to speak about this. Why is that Jigarik? Why? Because a lot of people are afraid to make sure that other people don't get pushed away. But we need to understand, there's a fact. It's not that we're scaring people or not. There's a fact. If you come to the doctor, correct, and you have an infection, he can brush it off and tell you can have a good life, which is lying, or he can tell you the truth, which is going to hurt you, but it's going to help you. Which one would you prefer?
Save the life.
Save the life. Same thing with the Torah. The Torah does not come to chas v'shalom threaten people. The Torah comes to teach people which path that they should choose. You understand? Like we spoke about the last time with a child with a knife. You're never going to allow your child to play with a knife. Why not? What's the problem? Because he's going to come and cut himself. But sometimes they don't understand. Sometimes you have to scream at them. Sometimes you have to grab it away from their hands in order for them to understand. You'll do anything to save them, correct? Same thing with us. The Hashem tries to do everything in His power to be able to show us the proper way that we have to go to. We think that, okay, if I did good, I did good. But if I did bad, big deal, nothing happened. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You understand? One of the principles in the Rambam is, if a person does the will of Hashem, he gets rewarded. If a person goes against Hashem, he will not get rewarded. It's common sense. Because it wouldn't be fair, Jigari, for the people that, go in the ways of Hashem, they get rewarded. The people that go against Hashem, they should also get rewarded? That doesn't make sense. Okay? So I'm going to start with you. The part says like this. It says in the Torah, if you're going to go in my chukim, if you're going to go in my laws, and you're going to guard my mitzvot, and you're going to do them. Listen what the Torah states. I will have given you your rain in its proper time. And the land is going to give produce. And the fruit tree is going to give its fruits. You see what's happening? When is this, Shigari? This is specifically, if I do what Hashem says, then Hashem, I'm going to give you rain in its proper time. Again, rain is compared to parnasa. You understand? It's compared to finance, something financial. Because you're able to buy with money.
Everything was farming for them.
Correct.
Connected to water, right?
Correct. והשיג לכם דייש את בציר, ובציר ישיג את זרע, ואכלתם לחמכם לשובע, וישבתם לבטח בארצכם. Remember, you got everything they had to do by themselves. They had to harvest the grain, correct? Then they had to harvest the vineyard. Then they had to plant again. Hashem says, if you do what I say, I will give you so much grain. I will give you so much vineyard. I will give you so much that you can have enough to eat. You don't have to worry about anything. ונתתי שלום בארץ, ושכבתם ואין מחריד. So I will give you peace in the land. You're going to go to sleep and you're not going to be afraid of nobody. Can you imagine? If a person just does what Hashem says, look at the guarantee Hashem gives you. והשבעתי חיה רעה מן הארץ, וחרב לא תעבור בארצכם. Animals will disappear from the land. Imagine living with animals, and lions, and who knows, bears. And you will not, and no sword is going to come through your country, meaning you're not going to have any wars. Hashem is going to protect you. Again, when is all this? When you're doing the will of Hashem. This is why it's important to always do the will of Hashem. But look what he says, Jigarik. He continues and he says, "Uredaftem et oivechem v'naflu lifnechem lacharev." If you're going to chase your enemies, they're going to fall before you by the sword. Hashem is going to make them fall before you. He's going to take them out. You're going to chase them.
If we follow the laws.
If you follow the laws. But then the Torah continues and he says, if you're going to have 5 people that are going to chase you, how many people? 5 people are going to chase 100 and they're going to fall. 100 people are going to chase 10,000 and Hashem is going to make all of them fall. So look what it says over here. It says, when is all of this? When you're doing the will of Hashem. However, he says, let's go the other way around, chas v'shalom. Let's go the other way around. V'im lo tishme'u li. Hashem said, but if you're not going to listen to me, v'lo ta'asu et kol ha-mitzvot ha'ele, and you're not going to do all my commandments, v'im b'chukotai tim'asu, if you're going to reject my laws, v'im et mishpatai tiga'al nafshechem, with my commandments, with my laws, you're going to become disgusted. What does Hashem say? לבלתי לעשות את כל מצוות להפריכם את בריתי, אף אני אעשה זאת לכם, והפקדתי עליכם בהלה, את השחפת ואת הקדחת, מחלות עיניים ומדבות נפש. You know what he says to Rijigari? He said, but if you're going to reject my laws, Hashem says, you know what I'm going to bring upon you now? I will bring upon you fear. All day you're going to be afraid of, who knows what, you don't even know. You don't even know of what. Chas v'shalom, sicknesses, lo leinu. Sufferings. He says your strength will diminish. You will weaken. There's only going to be curses. You with me or not? So you have to understand, when it says in the Torah that if you're going to follow my ways, I will bless you. And if you're not going to follow my ways, I will curse you. What is Hashem trying to tell us? Can you tell me? What is Hashem threatening us? Or is he telling us, choose the proper way?
That's exactly what he's telling us. Right? You're sick and here's the medicine.
But let me ask you a question. If we know, remember, I'm not reading for you right now Gemara, correct? I'm not reading for you the Talmud. I'm reading for you what says in the Torah. If the Torah clearly states You're going to follow in my ways, I will give you parnasa. I will give you children. You won't be afraid of, I will give you peace of mind. There will be no wars. So why aren't we following Hashem? That is the real question.
Because there's a lot of wicked people that still have all
I'm not worried about wicked
parnasa.
people. I don't care about. I'm talking about us right now. I don't care for wicked people.
Right.
I'm speaking about us. Why is it hard for us to follow in the ways of Hashem?
Because the reality, you see that, whoever is trying to follow Hashem, you see the people that they're suffering a lot. And you see on the other hand that the people that they're not so religious, they make millions. So you see that, the reality is not so the same like what the Torah says. So maybe in the future it will be, but sometimes, that's the challenge. When a person goes through situations like that and see...
Mike, you're saying
meaning
something.
In this world, right?
You're saying something. One second. You're saying something which is only visible to your eyes. What you're saying right now is not a fact. I'll put it to you like this. What we see today, right? Jewish people suffer, right? It might be not even 0.01% of the Jewish population. It's not a lot of people. This what you see. It's not a lot of people. Do you know how many people are more successful than unsuccessful in the Jewish area? If you look at the Syrians, look at the Ashkenazim, look at the Timinim, give me any nationality, look at the religious peoples. You see how much they have accumulated. They own buildings, they own houses, they have lots of children. Look at the Hasidim, for example. I'll give you any sect. This what you and I see is maybe 0.01%. There's a lot more successful Jewish people than unsuccessful. Hashem does it in that way in order to give us opportunity to help the less fortunate. And this that you see, Mike, people that go against Hashem and they're successful, not necessarily true. Why? Because give it some time, you'll see how many people you know, Michael, how many people did you hear of that were successful but committed suicide? Their children turned gay. They went against who knows what. There's no end. So what kind of blessing is that? There's no blessing in that. So he might have a nice house, he might have a nice car. But if your children are not in the way of Hashem, what kind of blessing is that? How many people you know that get divorced today, especially women, they get divorced and they sue their husbands? 40 million, 50 million, 300 million. For what? Where's the peace? There's no blessing with that type of money. So again, success is not really based on what you and I see. What you and I see is only the minute. But if you really look at the overall, the broader scale, you will see these people in the end are never happy. So therefore, it's not a good claim to tell people, you see this guy, he goes against Hashem, he's successful. He's not successful. That is not being called successful. Me and Jigari will speak about this. Just give them some time, you'll see. It says I think it's in Masechet Sotah, anybody chas v'shalom who goes with a goya, non-Jew lo leinu, or they do illicit relations, guaranteed in the end, they're going to be begging for bread. Guaranteed they're going to lose all their money.
Rabbi, I have an input of why we think this. So I'll give you an example of the Gemara. The Talmud basically has a lot of rabbis who you constantly hear stories that this rabbi was poor. They're very poor. They had nothing. There was no money. They had to, so you hear all these stories. They're our sages, and they were so poor. They didn't have anything. So how do you explain that?
So Joey, I'm asking you a question, Joey. How do you define one who's poor? And I know parents that have 15 children in Israel, 15 children, but they have no money to their name. I know people that have millions of children, millions of dollars, but they have no children. Who's poor? Can you tell me? Who's really poor in this situation? You want to tell me? Somebody told me the other day, you got to listen to this, Joey. Jackie Chan, I don't know if it's true or not. Jackie Chan disowned his own children. I don't know if it's true or not. He has all this money. Somebody told me he's going to give it away to churches and hospitals, but not his children. I don't know why. Honestly, I don't even know why. But somebody told me that I was bringing out this whole point. Who's considered to be rich today? One who has children, married off, grandchildren in the ways of Hashem, or children that go against Hashem and cause parents heartaches? Who's successful? We define success, but by what we own. That's the problem. Try to define success by what you leave over. You understand, Joey? So these rabbis, in reality, they're the happiest people. I was one time on Main Street, actually. The guy had 11 children, one bedroom. 11 children, one bedroom. All of them were sleeping like, on the floor? No beds, you got only mattresses. You have to pick up the mattress when you have to eat. When you have to go to sleep, you have to put the mattress back down. But they were very happy. Each one got married, each one has 6, 7 children. Now you tell me, this guy has not a dollar to his name. I don't know how he does it, but he's very successful because he has a lot of children, grandchildren. Well, how do you define success?
How do you measure it?
Joey, the cars that we drive, the houses that we own, the money that we have, chas v'shalom, it could be taken away in a split second. Nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed.
It's true. It's true. I agree with you. But still, in our eyes, the way we grew up is different. Why we judge success differently.
Beautiful. You're saying very good, Joey. That's why, Joey, let me put it to you like this. The Rav Chaim, he brings down, a business person, imagine yourself, you want to open up a business, correct? And people make fun of you. Are you going to close down? You want to open up a pharmacy across a pharmacist. On that block, you already have 7 pharmacies. You want to open up another one. They're going to make fun of you. Are you going to open or are you going to close?
If I want to open, I'm going to open.
Why not he's open. Why not close the store? Listen, you're not going to close because you need it for your life. You need it to survive in this world, correct? Yep. You should know that Rav Chaim says, we have to be able to look at Avodat Hashem, the service of God, just like business people. We shouldn't look what our eyes see. We have to try to go with what the law says. What does Hashem want from me? What does the Torah say? What does the Shulchan Aruch say? You understand? What my eyes see, it can be deceiving, especially today. I'll tell you, Chacham Ovadia, Joey? He said, but 30 years ago, 40 years ago, can you rely on cameras? If you see a camera where where a wife is cheating on her husband through a camera, or they did a DNA test, you got it, and then it says that the baby is the other guy's, can we trust it or not?
I think yes.
No, we can trust it. We have to be 100% certain. This is only 99% certain. And now look what's coming out. This was 30, 40 years ago. Correct? Now what are they doing? Now all this editing, correct? All this AI, you can't even tell what's real, what's not no more. We can't trust our eyes no more. How does the saying go, Jigari? Before it used to be, believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. Now don't believe what you hear and don't believe what you see also. It's a very big problem. This is why we want to try to maneuver in this world only through the eyes of the Torah. What the Torah says. What is defined success through the eyes of the Torah. That's how we want to do it. Because any other way we're going to fail. There's no other way, you should know. And by the way, this is going to be our test in the final days before Mashiach comes. This is going to be exactly our test. We're going to have to be able to differentiate between right and wrong. And you know why it's going to be hard, Joey? Because you're going to have a lot of religious people that are going to do the wrong things, and you're going to say they're doing it, so it's normal. But that's where you and I have to make that distinction and know what the Torah requires of us, so we'll know what's right and what's wrong. If you and I don't learn, we're in trouble. Put it to you like this.
So, Rabbi, so your question is that if we follow, so you're basically telling us that if we follow the Torah and we do what we need to do, we'll be successful with Parnassah, and what else?
100%. If you follow the ways of the Torah, right? The Torah said, if you go in my ways and you do my mitzvot, Hashem says, I will give you everything in this proper time. The rain, everything. You'll have peace of mind. You won't worry. Hashem says, if you do what I want, I will do what you want. It's a Pirkei Avot. If you're going to do the will of Hashem, Hashem says, I'm going to do your will. But you can't have any other thing interfere with you and Hashem. You understand? Like you, Joey, understand that there's nothing in this world. But you, your wife, you have to understand that there's nothing in this world but you and Hashem. Anything outside of this is only waste of my time. You see how it works? It's a marriage. It's between me and you, meaning me and Hashem. It's a marriage between me and Hashem. I don't want to cheat on Hashem. Just like Chas v'shalom, I'm never going to cheat on my wife. I don't want to cheat on Hashem also. It's the same concept, it's the same idea. But you have to believe it deep down inside. That Hashem brought me down into this world. Why in the world would I want to go against Hashem, that He gives me everything? So what I should use the resources that he gave me to go against him, am I normal? But that's what a lot of people do today. And that's what you're saying, Joey. You have a lot of people that go against Hashem. Hashem blesses them. Hashem is very slow to anger. He's going to wait little by little. But Joey, the time is going to come. Look, the Holocaust happened. October 7th happened. It happened. Things can happen in an instant, but then it's going to be too late. And that's what the Parsha is telling us. Do not reject my laws. Do not reject my commandments. Do not become disgusted with it. If you're going to do it, you're going to regret it in the end. Hashem is not scaring you. Hashem is telling you a fact. I brought you down into this world. You have another 30, 40 years if you're lucky. Use it wisely.
Amen, Rabbi. Amen.
Anyway, guys, if you have any question, I'll let you go. I am a little bit over the time. They're knocking on my door. If you guys have anything, I will answer. If not, I will see you guys B'ezrat Hashem tomorrow.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay, guys.
See you tomorrow. Thank you, Rabbi.
No problem.
God bless you. Bye.